The first thing to understand is that your mind is not your brain. Your brain is a 3-pound organ that sits inside of your skull, just like any other organ of the human body. Your kidneys, your liver, your spleen, your bowels, etc. It's just an organ. Your mind, on the other hand, is more like an activity. It's not limited to the confines of your brain. Your mind, in my opinion, possesses and fills every cell, every molecule, every atom of your body. And that's what we're going to talk about today. The mind, the psychology of positive thinking, and how we can use our mind to create our own results. So let's look at the mind. Hello there and welcome. I'm Dr. John Chuback, and welcome back to Chuback Seminars. Today we're going to start to get into the material, what I call the material. And this is the material of the human mind, and this is about positive psychology, and this is about success, and this is about learning to use your mind to achieve anything that it is that you're looking forward to. In my life, as you know, I started this process many years ago. It helped me to be successful in college, get into an American medical school, graduate in very good standing, get a position in general surgical residency, where I spent 5 years training to be a general surgeon. And then I went on to a 2-year residency in cardiovascular surgery up at the University of Rochester Medical Center, Strong Memorial Hospital, one of the finest institutions in the entire world, training in open heart surgery. And that led me to going into private practice, starting my own vein center here in New Jersey, creating my own dietary supplement company, and creating Chuback Seminars, where I'm going to teach you all of those things that I learned over those many years in terms of how your mind can help you to transmute your wishes, your goals, your dreams. What you can see in your mind, you can hold in your hand. So today we're going to get into it. I'm going to be working with you personally, one-on-one, and sharing this material. Much of this I've learned from many of my mentors, both real and virtual, people I knew in my own life through my surgical training, going back to my father, who was a physician, and other great teachers like Bob Proctor, Tracy, Earl Nightingale, Napoleon Hill, Jim Rohn, Dennis Waitley, an unbelievable group of people. So today we get into it. It all begins with the mind. The first thing to understand is that your mind is not your brain. Your brain is a 3-pound organ that sits inside of your skull, just like any other organ of the human body. Your kidneys, your liver, your spleen, your bowels, etc. It's just an organ. Your mind, on the other hand, is more like an activity. It's not limited to the confines of your brain. Your mind, in my opinion, possesses and fills every cell, every molecule, every atom of your body. And that's what we're going to talk about today. The mind, the psychology of positive thinking, and how we can use our mind to create our own results. So let's look at the mind. If I begin with a simple drawing, what we call the stick man, and in my book, Make Your Own Damn Cheese, we refer to it as the mind mouse, I want to get into it for you. Imagine, if you will, that your mind is represented by this circle. And then, of course, you have your body. Very simple concept. The mind is broken into 3 general areas, divided by these 2 horizontal lines. There's the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the superconscious mind. I like to show these very simply, and you'll see we're going to do many of these drawings in the months and years to come. Very simply like this: conscious, subconscious, and the superconscious mind. Let's define some terms. Your conscious mind can also be called the thinking mind. This is the mind that we're aware of every day, the thinking mind, the conscious mind. The subconscious mind and the superconscious mind, we are not aware of. We can't hear it and we can't see it. Not aware of the subconscious and superconscious minds. So how do we know what's going on there? We're going to talk a lot about that later. The conscious mind has other names, and I think it's important for you to understand them. The conscious mind, big C. It's also known as the academic mind, the intellectual mind. Again, the thinking mind. This is where all of the knowledge that you've ever learned in your life is accessible to you in a waking state that you can draw upon knowledge, skills, vocabulary, memory, etc. This is the thinking mind. The subconscious mind, on the other hand, is separated from the conscious mind, as is the superconscious mind, by something that we call the psychic barrier. Psychic barrier. There's a psychic barrier between the superconscious and the conscious, as well as the subconscious and the conscious. Extremely important to understand that. Why? Well, let's first look at the child's mind, the baby's mind. In the baby's mind, the subconscious is wide open. There is no psychic barrier. There's nothing preventing ideas and thoughts from getting into the subconscious mind. The subconscious is wide open. And that's why, as a child, new ideas come to us like a flood, like a river. What kind of ideas? Number one, language. A child absorbs language so quickly and so readily and so beautifully because there is no psychic barrier to keep those ideas out of the subconscious mind. Very interesting. This is why a child at the age of 7 or 8 could speak 4 or 5 languages. Why? Because if the child is exposed to those languages in their environment, let's say the mother speaks Spanish, the father speaks English, a housekeeper may speak another language, Polish, for example. But the child is growing up in a foreign country where in the street, let's say they speak Greek, and the parents are interested in language and learning, and they send that child to a French school downtown in a major city. That child's going to speak 5 languages with no problem whatsoever. Now, why is that? How is that? How is it that a child can learn 5 languages simultaneously, and you and I find it so difficult to learn even a fraction of conversational language in a foreign language? Because they have not developed a psychic barrier, and they have not developed the ability to say, ready for it? I can't. This is at the essence of what I'm talking about with you today. The child's mind is wide open, the subconscious. It will accept new ideas. It can only accept. It can never reject. But you and I are different because we're grown now. You know, it's said that the Jesuits, the academic educational sect in the Catholic Church, would say, for the last 400 years, give me the child before the age of 7 or 8, and I'll show you the adult, I'll show you the man, I'll show you the woman, because in the child's mind, we are going to plant seeds. Those seeds are the seeds of language, religion, food preferences, belief systems, likes, dislikes, etc., etc. It's not a mystery how this works in the child. But how does it work in me and you and an adult? What's going on there? And if we wanted to, if we were not happy with some of these belief systems that we have, how could we change them? Well, that's the essence of this material, and it's so beautiful. You know, I have learned a lot of incredible things in a very, very long and quite extraordinary educational experience. I had a very, very fine education. I was fortunate as a young person to go to a very fine private school here in New Jersey and be amongst great teachers and other great students. Had a great university experience here also in New Jersey, went off to medical school, surgical residency, cardiovascular surgical residency. I've done heart transplants, mechanical heart assist devices, kidney transplants. I've operated on babies. I've operated on babies' hearts, children. I've done intensive care work. I've done trauma work with major trauma, burn surgery. I've learned biochemistry, chemistry, organic chemistry, calculus, physics. It's incredible, the things that I've learned over those years. But can I tell you, there's nothing more powerful, more valuable, and more useful than this model of the human mind, because with it, you can not only learn to become a general surgeon or cardiovascular surgeon, you can learn to be an astronaut, you can learn to be a violinist, you can learn to be a mathematician, you can learn to be a baker, you can learn to be an entrepreneur, you can learn to be a poet, you could learn anything that you want and become anything you want through this magnificent model of the mind. It's the most powerful thing that I've ever learned, and I've learned some powerful, powerful things. And I want to share this with you. So let's look at it again. Let's begin with the mind of the adult. We have the conscious, the subconscious, which we're not aware of, and the superconscious, which we're not aware of. And as we come to the close of today's first lesson, the question becomes, after we're a child, when the psychic barrier forms, how do we get ideas into the conscious mind? And the answer is through the five senses. And that's true of the child also. We can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. These are the five senses. And these five senses, like antennae, connect us to the outside world. And how? Generally, through all the other people in our lives. Parents, siblings, friends, teachers, other kids in the neighborhood, people that we see on TV, people that we hear on the radio, and of course today, people that we see on the internet, on our iPhones, etc. All of those messages come to us largely through seeing and hearing, and then smelling and tasting tend to be more of our cultural preferences, like foods and cuisines and things like that. It's not a mystery that an Italian-American family eats, generally speaking, Italian-American food on Sunday afternoon with their family, and a Chinese-American family will be the same, and a Greek-American family would be the same, et cetera, because it's what you've become accustomed to. And over time, those ideas, those thoughts that we're being exposed through the physical world, through our environment, will eventually, as we get older and the psychic barrier has formed, penetrate through repetition the psychic barrier and get to our subconscious mind. And in my next video, I'm going to talk to you more about the power of the subconscious mind and how it's essential for you to live your greatest life and achieve all of the goals, wishes, and desires that you're thinking about in your conscious mind all the time. How to attract that to yourself and then see that in your own beautiful life. Stick with me. I'll see you in the next session.